Hello and welcome to San Jose State University Office of Undergraduate Admissions and Outreach Supplemental Application Workshop. Our presentation will begin shortly at 2 p.m. Do want to send a reminder that a recording of our presentation can be found on sjsu.edu/soar/events. If you have any technical issues signing in, you can contact sjsu.edu/it/support/service desk-index.php. After signing in, if you have issues with the supplemental application, you can email admissions@sjsu.edu. Make sure that you enter your SJSU ID number. And if you have questions about pre-admissions or counseling, sjsu.edu/soar is where you can contact us. Our team will be providing links throughout our presentation on the chat feature. We have an entire team will help us answer your questions after the presentation. So please hold them until after the presentation because we have a full presentation and we want you to pay close attention. Otherwise, you might miss something important. Up next, so as you see here, our general email is outreach@sjsu.edu if you have other general questions about San Jose State University. And I have a co-presenter who's going to be introducing herself today.
Oops, sorry about that, everybody. I was on mute. So already, everyone, good afternoon we are. My name is Amanda Aldama, and I am the Spartan Eastside Promise Program Lead here in Student Outreach and Recruitment. Been here for about 10 years now, first as a student, and then, of course, as a staff member as well. So any questions that you do have about San Jose State, whether it's the admissions process, student life as well, more than happy to assist with those either in our Q&A, and of course we do have pre-admissions counseling as well. I'm going to pass it back to Julio.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Again, I'm Julio Cesar Ortega, interim transfer admissions counselor and recruiter here at San Jose State University, part of the student outreach and recruitment department. I earned my education in the California State University, earned my BA and my master's in counseling and guidance. Been in the CSU for 10 years, over 10 years as a student, and then as a staff member, most recently at SJSU, going on 4 years. So I'm very happy to be working at SJSU, very happy that you're joining us today. So thank you all for taking your time to learn about the California State University system. And then specifically today's workshop, I want to go ahead and tell you what we're going to be covering, okay? We're going to be covering the SJSU specific supplemental application, okay? We're going to tell you where you can find the supplemental application, a guide to completing your application, including today will help show you where you can calculate your GPA, update your courses, the associate degree for transfer, the 4 basic skills requirements, and the supplemental coursework, okay? We'll also cover your MySJSU, the transfer admission requirements and deadlines. And as I mentioned, we have a team that is with us, but please remain patient. And also we wanna know a little bit about the students who are joining us today. So later we'll be asking you some questions, but for now we'll jump right into our presentation, okay? There are a few items for support that will help you with this application. On the technical side, a computer with internet, obviously, but your web browsers, okay, they should be up to date, including Firefox, Internet Explorer 8 or higher, Chrome 6 or higher, and Safari 5 or higher. Our application does use JavaScript, so you want to enable that functionality and allow pop-ups on your web browser because parts of the application will require it. Next, your transcripts, okay, from the colleges that you have attended. a help guide is also available to you. So our team will be sharing that on the chat feature. Definitely want to encourage you to open that help guide when you begin your supplemental application. We're definitely going to tell you where you can find it. And again, if you have any need any technical assistance, you can contact our IT team. All of this information in this presentation has been sent to your email. So you definitely want to be checking your communication from SJSU admissions because the information that we covered today is definitely in the email and where you can complete your application. Briefly, the supplemental application can also be found at supplementalapp.sjsu.edu/supplemental app. The SJSU specific supplemental application is an SJSU transfer admissions requirements. It's different from your Cal State Apply. This presentation will focus on the SJSU specific supplemental application because it's mandatory to meet your transfer admissions. The Cal State Apply update is optional for SJSU. Very important. If you see the date here, your SJSU supplemental app is due January 30th, 2021 for fall 2021 admission. In addition, this supplemental application is going to allow you to enter and confirm that you'll complete the SJSU transfer admissions requirements. This application will allow you to complete and submit your SJSU transfer admission requirements by the end of spring 2021. As you see here, you can see the SJSU transfer admissions requirements, and you'll notice that the 60 semester units or 90 quarter units is one requirement. These units are a combination and accumulation of all transferable courses completed and or are in progress. This includes all the colleges that you have attended, and we'll discuss this further in the following slides. The next requirement, your 4 basic skills, are a CSU requirement. The 4 basic skills are also known as the Golden 4, and we'll discuss this further in the following slides as well. And the next requirement that you see here is that you meet the impaction criteria for your major. This means that you meet and earn a qualifying GPA and or complete the supplemental criteria for your major. All these requirements must be completed by the end of spring 2021. You cannot use summer 2021 to complete the transfer admissions requirements for fall 2021. You'll notice that we have a link up here, sjsu.edu/admission/transfer, and you can review these requirements in further detail. But today in this application, we want to help you enter this information to your supplemental app, okay? And again, reiterating that your supplemental application is due January 30th. If you fail to meet one of these requirements or meet a deadline, it can cause your application or your admission to be withdrawn. As you know, SJSU is a deadline-driven campus, and we are an impacted campus. That means there are no exceptions for missed deadlines, and you must complete tasks on time. And today, I want to show you where you can go to make sure that you're completing your tasks on time and how to take action on time. During the admission process, we will consistently communicate via My SJSU. If you check My SJSU 2 times per week, you'll be able to take action on time. Here, we're showing you how to check your account, also known as My SJSU. You'll go to one.sjsu, click on My SJSU, sign in using your SJSU ID and password. And once you're in, you want to check your to-do list. Every student has their own to-do list and their own deadlines. Check your own list on the right side and take action by those deadlines posted. One of those deadlines that you're going to notice right now is that you take action by completing and submitting this supplemental app. On there, you can click on the link to your supplemental application. So if you're wondering where you can locate it, this is one place where you can locate locate the supplemental application. You can also check SJSU Student Center here at my SJSU. You can check your personal information section, look out for the email addresses that are displayed, and you can actually mark the email that you prefer to use. Check the box for the preferred email, and this is the email that we'll consistently use to communicate during this admission process to let you know when we've updated your anything on your SJSU account. So now that we're working on our SJSU supplemental application, you'll notice we have a link on where you can find that application. Again, the username and login information is the same one as you used to sign into my SJSU. Once you sign in, if you have any issues with the application or made a mistake, you can we will later show you how you can request to make a correction on your application. You'll notice here we have the website for any issues contacting IT, but specifically what you want to see here is your name, your SJSU specific email for future reference, the primary major or the program that you've selected, and it's important that you know you cannot change your major at this time. While you're here, you want to open up the help guide. There are a couple places that you can find that help guide, okay? Right above the information about you. And if you notice on the left-hand side where it says need help, what I do is right click, open up the help guide and open it in a new tab so you have quick access while you're working on your application. Most, if not all your questions are answered on this help guide. All of this information has been sent to your email. And then, obviously you can also find the help guide here. But when you're ready to go, you'll hit the green arrow to continue. The first section is your college information section. Has a lot of information. Let's start with the help guide on the left-hand side if you haven't opened it. Next, confirm or update your GPA to include your grades in the fall 2020 term and all your transferable courses, okay? The help guide can help you determine your transferable GPA. Cal State Apply can also help you calculate your GPA, and your transcripts are also going to help you with your GPA, okay? You can also use your resources like assist.org. Our team can help you, we'll be sharing that link with you to help you determine your transferable courses. And from there is where you'll take your grades and your grade point average, okay, from your transferable coursework only. By completing this section, you're informing SJSU admissions that you're updating your GPA to include your grades in the fall 2020 term. If your GPA stayed the same, you can keep it as is. Next on this section, you want to click change. Okay. When you hit change, this will allow you to update each campus that you entered when you applied on Cal State Apply. All campuses that you entered on Cal State Apply will be shown here. And you want to bring out your transcripts for each of those schools. And if you notice, you are not able to delete a school that was entered on Cal State Apply. Your transcripts are helpful because they're going to show you and allow you to look at the dates, okay? Dates are important. Enter the dates that you attended each campus. The from date means the month and the year you first attended the campus. The to date means the end or the last month and year you attended the campus. If you're currently attending a campus, you may enter 06 hyphen or dash 2021 on the to date. You just cannot leave it blank. Otherwise, it won't allow you to submit. Next thing you want to do is check your transcripts because you must manually separate your units. You want to separate your units that are that have already been completed, and specifically your transferable units that you have already received credit for, and those classes that you have grades for up to this point. You must manually edit it by looking at your transcripts and only count those transferable courses. Um, if your transcript shows that you did not earn units for a class, do not count those units. That's why it's extremely helpful that you have your transcripts at hand. And as I mentioned, you also want to check the help guide because this is also going to help you verify that. You can also use assist.org, which is another great tool to determine your transferable courses. The next section here are your units in progress or plan. You can include the courses that you're currently enrolled in and courses that you have planned for spring 2021. You're able to enter the term type, as in, is it a quarter system or a semester system? I will tell you, do not try to convert your units. Label them exactly as they are. So if you're attending De Anza College, your units and courses taken at De Anza, you will enter them as a quarter system. If you're attending a college like Evergreen Valley College, you would enter it as a semester system, okay? Keep them separate and you do not have to try to convert the units. You're gonna see a drop-down menu that's gonna allow you to indicate that, okay? SJSU admissions will verify that the information that you've entered here matches your official transcripts. So that's why your transcripts are a very useful tool. And it's important that you know you cannot use summer 2020 to meet fall 20, or you cannot use summer 2021 to meet fall 2021 admissions. If you're currently attending a new college or forgot to enter a college, you can enter it by adding a college. This section right here at the bottom. Also, if you took AP exams and you want to use credits or units from AP exams, you can use them for admission if you earned a 3 or higher, and I'll cover that shortly on the next slide. Any courses that you took outside of California, you do want to reference your college or university catalog to determine if the courses are identified as transferable to a 4-year university bachelor's degree and has US and regional accreditation. All coursework will be evaluated in-house by SJSU admissions, and we'll send you an email about how to submit your official transcripts to SJSU at a later time. The SJSU requirement of 60 semester units or 90 quarter transferable units must be entered on this page. Please make sure that you know that you have to complete your 60 semester units or 90 quarter units by the end of spring 2021. And and if I haven't mentioned, you cannot change your major at this time. We are in the admissions process. So this supplemental application is part of your admissions process. Once you're ready, you'll hit the green arrow at the bottom where it says continue to move forward to the next section. If you need to update your any of these particular sections, you can come back at a later time, but it's important that this application is submitted. We'll cover that process later today, submitted by January 30th. As I mentioned earlier, if you need to add an AP course or AP credits, you must have earned a 3 or higher. You're gonna click on add a college, and then it's gonna ask you to enter the name of the school. For the name of the school, you wanna enter AP exam units. You'll need to add the month and the year and the from date, and then and also a to date. If you don't remember when you took the exam, go to College Board because it's going to tell you your score and the date that you took your exam. For your letter grade, enter the word pass. And again, only if you received a 3 or higher can you earn credit. You will need to send official test scores to SJSU at a later time. And you can also contact our virtual front desk to help you look at what AP exam scores we honor credit. We'll be sharing that information about our front desk at a later time, but just wanted to let you know you can still use, if you passed AP exams, you can use them to meet SJSU admission requirements. I have a poll question, but today we're taking care of business. We're gonna jump right into it because I want to be respectful of your time. The associate degree for transfer is this next section is gonna tell you about the associate degree for transfer program. It's also known as the ADT, AAT, or AST. This is not the same as an AA degree. The associate degree for transfer program is a CSU specific transfer degree with benefits for admission. Students who completed or will complete the ADT program in a major that's similar will receive preference for admission. I want to note that this is not an admissions requirement, okay? If you're not completing an ADT program, that's okay. The supplemental application will allow you to update SJSU. Ultimately, your transcripts must show proof of completion by the end of spring 2021. The AAT, ADT, or AST are not required for admission. And you can, if you have questions about a matching program, you can consult a degreewithaguarantee.com to confirm if SJSU has an agreement for your program, okay? But again, I want to differentiate the ADT, AAT, or AST. It's a separate program from an AA or an AS. Inaccurate information can cause your application and or admission to be withdrawn. On the next slide, I'm going to show you if you have an ADT or if you've told SJSU on your Cal State Apply that you're completing an ADT, you're going to see it pop up. If you did not tell SJSU, you're not going to see it. So not everyone is going to see the option for the ADT program, okay? And that's okay. This supplemental application allows you to meet the SJSU requirements and enter the SJSU requirements. So you do want to follow the instructions on the what to do section here carefully to help you properly add or delete an ADT degree, okay? The section about the 4 basic skills, also known as the Golden 4, is important because it's a transfer admission requirement, and you'll be asked to confirm this that you have completed them or plan to complete them. If you notice, for California Community College, you'll recognize the GE areas: A1, oral communication; A2, written composition; A3, critical thinking; B4, college level math or quantitative reasoning with intermediate algebra as a prerequisite. The transfer admission requirements of like the 4 basic skills must be completed with a C- or higher by the end of spring 2021. A pass or credit can also be honored if the course was taken during winter, spring, summer, or fall 2020, and also winter, spring, or summer 2021. When you, on the next section, I'm going to show you how to enter these courses. And you're going to notice when you go to enter a grade, SJSU will only allow you to enter full letter grades. So if you received an A- for a class, you're only going to be allowed to enter a full letter grade of A. But this is where your transcripts are helpful. Double check that you've completed the 4 basic skills courses. The 4 basic skills courses, the CSU minimum grade is a C- or better. So this is the only grade that will have a symbol. The C, because the C minus or better, that is a CSU wide admission requirements. For students who completed an AP exam for area A2, as you see here for written composition, or B4, you can use an AP exam to meet this requirement. Each section must be completely filled out before you can move forward to the next section. If you need to update, select change here. Okay, you're confirming that you're meeting your 4 basic skills. You'll be able to match the school, the class, the grade that you've earned. If you're currently enrolled in a class or plan to take it, you must manually enter it, especially if you have not entered that class on Cal State Apply. And if you don't notice it here, you'll have to add it manually. To check transferability of the 4 basic skills, go to assist.org. And it is required that you can successfully pass all 4 classes. I do want to tell you there is a final verification process that will happen during the summer to verify that you're meeting all of these admission requirements. If you're missing one of them, your application can be withdrawn. And when you're ready, click on the next. So when you're ready to add a course or match them, you'll click on change. Okay. Once you select change, you'll be prompted to opt in for an AP credit. Ignore it if you're satisfying it with the class, okay? And you do need to have a 3 or higher for the areas only A2 and B4. Here, the A2 requirement is being met at Modesto Junior College. Again, fall term. And then this class was taken 2017. Which class satisfies this requirement? You know, notice that question. You may only add classes that you have entered on your application. If you need to add a class for spring, you'll select on add a class, okay? And this is specifically for your 4 basic skills courses, okay? If you have not added a 4 basic skills course, you can add it here. You do not need to add all of your classes that you're taking in the spring if you've already counted them in your units. This is only if you need to add a 4 basic skills course. Next, select the term type. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to see a drop down menu. And this is where I was mentioning you must enter the required fields in order for you to move forward. Once you're ready, you'll hit submit. The next section of the application is entering the supplemental coursework for all transfer students. Some majors at SJSU will give preference to students who complete major-specific preparatory coursework or supplemental coursework. The same, if you're applying to a program that will give preference to students in the admissions process for those who have completed program-specific preparatory courses, you'll be ranked on a combination of the self-reported GPA and the number of courses that you completed with a grade of C or higher. This is where it's important that you have passed a class, okay? So specifically, only courses that are completed by the end of spring 2021 with the C or higher are considered. To see the most up-to-date list of major specific preparatory coursework for your specific major, go to sjsu.edu/admissions/impaction. Our team can enter that link on the chat feature so that you can review your specific major. The admission threshold varies per major, depending on the capacity of the major to take new students and the number of students that are applying for that term. Very important that you note, not all majors require supplemental coursework, but still the supplemental application must be submitted by January 30th. So even if your major doesn't require supplemental coursework, we still need you to submit your supplemental app, including specifically to verify that you're completing your 60 semester units or 90 quarter units. Submitted by that January 30th deadline. Here we have an example of the impaction criteria, the specific supplemental coursework for a major. Okay, in this major, you'll notice we have a list of SJSU courses on the left-hand side. Okay, there's 5 classes for this specific major, where the course was completed. Manually enter courses that are not listed if you're completing them by the end of spring 2021. And again, the supplemental courses must have earned a C or better. A C minus will not suffice. You will not earn credit for the supplemental course if it's a C minus or lower. If you're transferring from California Community College and you're earning an ADT, the specific at CSU degree, you also enter the supplemental courses that you're completing. Okay, so on the previous slide we showed you the website where you can check the supplemental coursework per major. You can reference that and then enter the courses here. You'll also notice when you're on your supplemental application, if you don't see any supplemental coursework, that means that you did not that your major is not offering the preference, okay, for supplemental coursework. In the case that you're attending a quarter system school, as you see here, if you had to complete 2 courses at your college to meet one SJSU requirement, we really need to know if you completed both of those courses with a C or better. All of this information submitted on the application is verified against your official transcript and when we do final verification over the summer. And any discrepancy could result in the withdrawal of your admission and or application, okay? We'll discuss a little bit about deadlines. My colleague will help me. But once you're done, believe it or not, this is the summary. We're close to submitting this application. You're gonna see a lot more information than I have here, but review the information and the edits, okay, that you've made, certifying that all the information is correct. Once you're ready, click submit, and then you're gonna receive a copy of the confirmation after you submit it to your email. All of this information on this application is sent to your email. You're going to notice we are very clear on the instructions to fill out your supplemental application. And now I want to welcome my colleague who's going to give us some deadlines, explain a little bit about the Cal State Apply update. But more than anything, thank you all for being here. Believe it or not, this is the SJSU specific supplemental application.
Alrighty, everyone. So thank you, Julio. So as Julio mentioned, you definitely want to make sure that you read through the application thoroughly, that you check everything is correct and as accurate as possible before hitting submit. If you do hit submit, you cannot go back in and make changes, but we do have, and I'll show a little bit later, a request form that you can make to have that application potentially reopened. So we'll talk about that a little bit more detail in the next couple slides. But at this time, I do want to cover the Cal State Apply academic update. So as Julio mentioned, our supplemental application is required for the SJSU admissions process. So you do have to complete that SJSU specific application in order to move forward with the admissions evaluation. However, if you are applying to other CSUs as well, it is recommended that you do go through and update that Cal State Apply academic section there. Now, do keep in mind, again, this is an option that you have, so it's not a requirement for San Jose State, but again, recommended if you're applying to other CSUs as well. If you are doing so, you have the deadline of January 31st to be able to do these academic updates. For our Cal State, our supplemental application, that is January 30th. So jumping right into the Cal State Apply, when you log into calstate.edu/apply, you're going to go ahead and click on Academic History and then click Update My Application. From there, you can be able to click on college coursework, which we'll show in a moment, those screenshots, that way you can get that visual of what it will look like. But I do want to highlight down below that there is a help guide to be able to go through this process, and our team will also put that in the chat for you as well. So very familiar to what you've already submitted, right? calstate.edu/apply, those 4 quadrants there, you'll go ahead and click on Academic History. From there, you'll click on College Coursework. And then you'll click on the college that you do want to update. So for example, if now that you have your fall grades, right, you can be able to update that. If maybe your spring schedule has changed, you're taking a different course, you can be able to change that as well. So what you're going to want to do is locate the college that you are making those updates for. Click edit so you can edit that digital transcript, if you will. And then click the pencil icon. That way you can be able to change those grades for the fall 2020 term. Once you hit the pencil, it's going to look like this, and on completion status, you will select completed. So you're going to change that in progress planned to completed. Do keep in mind that, again, this is for the fall grades. This is for if you're changing your spring coursework, but for courses that you have already entered as completed, you aren't able to make those changes. Now, if you are doing a academic renewal, you're repeating a course, there are instructions on how to move forward with this in the help guide. So once again, that help guide is below, so feel free to take a picture of that, copy the link that will be posted in the chat in a moment, but that will show how to be able to make those updates if that is the case. You're also able to make updates, for example, say you're adding any AP scores or other tests that are relevant to the admissions process. As always, you want to make sure that you click save to save all of your changes, and in this case, save your transcript as well. That way it can update that section. Some other important dates and deadlines that you want to be aware of. Once again, our SJSU specific supplemental application, which is required for our admissions process, is due by January 30th. The Cal State Apply optional academic update is due January 31st if you are choosing to do that. February, late February, early March, you're going to want to be checking your MySJSU account. You should be in the habit already of checking that MySJSU account at least every other week, just in case there's any changes, any updates, any messages. That is our main mode of communication with you at this time. So if there's any additional documents that we need, you want to make sure you're checking that account. But late February or early March, that is when we'll notify you if you have been offered provisional admission for the fall 2021 term. You're also wanting to keep an eye out because if you have not been offered admission, if your application has been withdrawn, but you have a chance to appeal, then you want to make sure that you do so in a timely manner. We are, as Julio said, a very deadline-driven campus, so there is no exceptions or extensions for those missed deadlines. So you want to make sure you are checking those messages and following through in a timely manner. Now, if you are offered provisional admission, we can't wait for you to join the Spartan community, but you'll have until May 1st to complete what's called the intent to enroll process. So it's an online process which we'll cover in another workshop, so stay tuned, definitely stay connected with us to see how to go about that process and tell us that you plan to enroll and be a Spartan for the fall. May is also the time for mandatory academic advising. So where you get to get that insight on which classes to enroll and have those questions answered by advisors. And then in June, attend your digital transfer orientation. So where you're actually going to enroll in your courses at that time. So do keep these dates in mind. Once again, check in that MySJSU for any other specific deadlines for you, such as the partial transcript sometime in March, which is an official transcript that we will use to verify your coursework that has been completed and in progress, as well as the final transcript by July 15th. So do make sure that you follow those deadlines accordingly. Now, let's say you've already submitted your supplemental application, you've gone through this workshop and you've noticed, oops, I made a mistake. I made an error. I need to fix something. Well, we do have a form that you can fill out. It's a Google form that's listed there. So you can be able to take a screenshot of that link or get your phone out and use that QR code to take a picture and be able to access that form to request for that supplemental application to be reopened. Please keep in mind that making an edit is not guaranteed and that you do still have to complete this application by January 30th. So if your application is reopened for you to complete on January 29th, you still got to get it in by the 30th and making those edits and those updates. So do make sure that you are following through in a timely manner with those updates. I will leave this here for just one moment if you have not already taken a picture of the link if you need it, or again, gotten out your cell phone and opened up the camera app to scan that QR code and have direct access to that link. All right, moving right along here. Other updates, other things that you want to be aware of are financial aid and scholarships. So while our application is due very, very soon, the financial aid, the FAFSA, and the California Dream Act applications are coming up as well with the deadline of March 2nd. If you are eligible for financial aid, you want to definitely check out that website. But if you have any questions with this process, how to fill out the application, questions on the different types of aid, our financial aid and scholarship office has virtual appointments available Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the below times, as well as a live chat feature. That way you could speak with someone direct and get those questions answered. We also have Cash for College webinars that you could be able to attend on those dates and times that are listed there. These are free online webinars to get that assistance that you need. So make sure that you do check that out if you're applying for the FAFSA or the California Dream Act to get the maximum aid possible. Right. Moving right along here. Mention staying connected, right? It's so important, especially at this time, to stay connected, to have those open lines of communication open should you have any questions, get to be familiar with the campus, the department, the resources, to have that smooth transition and start at San Jose State. So we have a wide variety of videos on our website, different resources that I'll share in just a moment, but a lot of live virtual events as well. Some of those will include our next steps presentation. So again, if you are offered provisional admission between March and May 1st, we will host those next steps presentations, as well as Admitted Spartan Days mid-April. Admitted Spartan Days is a great opportunity to not just hear from us, hear about those admissions requirements, but hear from many other campus departments, hear from current students, hear from financial aid, hear from all other kinds of departments about everything that you'll need to know in order to make that smooth transition to be a Spartan. All of our event information will be available at sjsu.edu/store, so definitely check that out if you're not already following us on Instagram as well. And then we do have what you may be familiar with already, our steps to admission brochures. So various brochures that outline the admissions process, the dates and deadlines. They're interactive too, so they're hyperlinked so you can have those direct communication. The website is below sjsu.edu/enrollment management/publications. Do keep this in mind because similar to our steps to admission, we will also have a steps to enrollment. So to cover that next steps process. So I want to make sure that you are connected, involved, you know exactly what you need to do to complete your admissions process for San Jose State. Again, I said it before, but I want to reiterate, it's so important, especially now, to stay in contact, stay connected. Our pre-admissions counseling is available through our virtual front desk at sjsu.edu/soar. So come say hi to me, to Julio, to any of our team to be able to ask those questions you have about the admissions process. Again, if you do need to make changes to your supplemental application, the link is there, as well as the email for the admissions office and their live chat website as well. If you're having any technical issues with the application, visit the technical support. Their email is listed there below, itservicedesk@sjsu.edu. It's a lot of great resources for you throughout this process. Make sure if you haven't already done so, you take a screenshot of this page, copy those links that are in the chat. They are here to help you. We are here to help you through this admissions process. So at this time, now we're going to transition to our live Q&A for questions that you have and have been putting in the Q&A down below. So go ahead, if you haven't already gotten your questions in, go ahead and put them there. Our team is doing their best to answer them. But Julio, our first question is, what is the difference between an AA and the AS and the ADT?
Hello. Just gonna make sure my microphone, mic check. Are we good?
Alrighty, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. There's a difference between the AA and the AS. The AA degree is earned at community colleges. But the ADT is a specific transfer degree. It's a CSU specific degree that is completed at California community colleges. And if you need to verify the matching degree with SJSU, you can go to a degree with a guarantee.com, find the matching programs. Only fill out though on this supplemental application if you are receiving an ADT. So if you're receiving the ADT, you can fill out that section. If you're not completing an ADT, you'll uncheck the box for your ADT. As I mentioned, is not an admission requirement. Okay.
Definitely. And the help guide that is in the chat has a full explanation of this as well. So I want to make sure that you do follow through with those instructions to make sure you get that entered in accurately. Our next question here is, what is the difference between the SJSU specific application and the Cal State Apply application update?
Good question. Good question. The SJSU specific supplemental application is first, it's found in your email or by checking your one.sjsu.edu account, clicking on My SJSU, and you'll see the direct link on that on My SJSU. You'll also be able to access it on supplementalapp.sjsu.edu slash supplemental application. And it is required. Okay. The supplemental application specifically for SJSU is required. It's a part of the transfer admissions requirements. It's our way of collecting your most up-to-date information about your courses that are specific to your major. You may also want to update your information on Cal State Apply if you're applying to other California state universities. SJSU does not require the Cal State Apply app or update. For SJSU, you definitely want to submit your supplemental app by January 30th. And then your Cal State Apply updates, I believe they are January 31st.
It's definitely important to note those deadlines as well. You want to make sure that you submit everything by the deadline. We are a very deadline-driven campus. Our next question here is, how do I enter in a B- or a C- on my coursework?
The only so my check, yeah. The only plus or minus for grades that students will be able to see is the C minus. This is due to the minimum requirement for the 4 basic skills courses. C minus or better. If you got a C though in a class, then enter it as a C as it's shown on your transcript. The only reason is California State University minimum requirement for the 4 basic skills courses. Okay. I do want to differentiate that from the supplemental courses, okay? The minimum grade for supplemental courses is a C or better. If you earned a C minus, that does not suffice for a supplemental app. So just want to be very clear about that. Enter the grade as it is shown on your transcript, except for that C minus for the 4 basic skills requirement, okay? Only full letter grades.
All right. Our next question here is, how do I enter in an AP, IB, or CLEP exam score if I'm using this for unit credit?
Oh, good. Good question. First of all, good for you. You can take AP CLEP or IB exam scores. If you earned a 3 or higher on an AP exam, you would enter it. You would have to enter the name in the section where it says at a college. Enter the name as AP exam as the name of the school. Okay. AP, CLEP, or IB units. Okay. A 3 or higher is a passing score for AP. For IB, you're looking at a 4 or higher. And specifically, if you took more than one AP exam, you want to combine the units for your AP exam units and add them under the one AP exam units under the same school. But if you earned a 3 or higher, enter your units as semesters for the term. As I mentioned earlier, there's a drop down menu. If you took AP exam, you'll get semester credits. And Yeah, you do have to. I do want to tell you, you do have to have send your official test scores later. But you can go to the SJSU catalog. It'll take you directly to the exam. It can take you directly to the exams that we honor credit for. The website for the catalog is catalog.sjsu.edu. It's going to show you the AP exams that we honor credit for. So I'm actually typing that catalog.sjsu.edu. It's actually going to show you all the AP exams and credits that we honor for SJSU admission.
Great. Yeah, and just to reiterate, or to follow up on what you said, Julio, you definitely want to make sure that you send those scores after you have been admitted. They do have to be official scores from College Board as well, if you are using them to meet any credit. Our next question, just can I find the help guide? So our team will be posting that help guide once again in the chat for you to access, both our help guide and the Cal State Apply academic update guide if you do choose to update the optional information there. Our next question here is, if you are currently enrolled, how do you enter that in for the term?
Got it. So if you're currently enrolled, these units are in progress, okay? Enter the to date correctly. So if you are enrolled in a class right now, the end date would be 06/2021, end of spring term. And remember to include these units only in the section that says planned or in progress. If you have not earned grades or credits for those units, you want to keep them separate.
Great. A follow-up question that from our frequently asked questions that we've seen here would be, how do my spring courses affect my admission?
Good question. We're gonna provide what's called the provisional admission based off your self-reported data. We'll verify this with official transcripts in March and a final transcript in July. If by July your GPA decreases significantly or you don't complete a requirement, your provisional admission will be withdrawn.
Right, we got another question about grades here. So if I took a public speaking course in 2016 with a pass grade, would I need to retake that course for the pass for a letter grade?
Good question. It's important that you review your transcripts. Have your transcripts at hand. I can't stress that enough because they're gonna help you understand it. So, if if a pass grade means that you got a C minus or better, then you'll be fine. Okay, and this, yeah, specifically for your four basic skills, public speaking is a four basic skills requirement. So, C minus or higher.
We have another question, sort of a follow-up to that, especially in the times that we are now. Due to the pandemic, are there any changes to the criteria or deadlines?
So we have made exceptions for pass or credit during the semesters that I previously mentioned. You can find a website of that consistency of those consistent requirements by going to sjsu.edu/admissions/transfer/admissions requirements. I'm actually going to add that link. It's a pretty long one. I'm going to add it to our section here, but you'll see the most up to date information, especially what the CSU is doing to help students during this critical time. But yes, we do have the most consistent criteria on our website.
Definitely. Just to add on that, we have a lot of different updates on our website. Our next question, I'm going to go ahead and change the slide here, but our next question is in relation to the request form. So I've already submitted my supplemental application, but I noticed I made a mistake. What do I do? We do have this slide up here for you to be able to request to make that change, to have that supplemental application reopened. However, again, do keep in mind, Making an edit is not guaranteed, and January 30th is still the deadline. So you want to make sure you are following through with the deadlines, especially if your application is being reopened, that you do resubmit that in a timely manner.
Thank you, Amanda.
Our next question here is, I switch community colleges that have different systems. How do I enter my GPA?
Yeah, so good question. You'll want to indicate the you'll want to. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, Amanda?
Yes, so it is, I switched community colleges that have different systems. How do I enter my GPA?
Got it. Got it. So for this question, you want to do your best to estimate your overall GPA average from only your transferable courses with the highest grade earned for the course at all schools attended. A formal overall GPA calculation will be determined when students send their official transcripts.
Another transcript related question here is, why won't my AA show up under the ADT section?
So, good question. The associate degree for transfers is a particular type of degree that students must have earned or will earn by the end of spring 2021. It's not the same as an AA degree, an associate of arts or associate of science. You can see the specific agreement between your college, your community college in California, and SJSU. I'm providing a link on the chat feature here for students to be able to match, verify that if their degree matches. Typically, if the field of study is not on the drop down for the schools, then that means that that degree is not an ADT, or we do not have an agreement in place. So we'll automatically populate if you've told us and there's a matching degree, okay?
Great. We have another question about spring courses. So we touched on this a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate again, what if I changed or I don't know my spring coursework yet? How do I update the application?
Good question. Your transcripts again, if you've completed the classes, but if your education plan is changing for spring, do your best to enter the courses as as you understand them right now. Your supplemental application is only going to ask you for the 4 basic skills courses, okay? So specifically, if you're completing one of those courses in the spring, enter them on the application, okay? And your supplemental courses if your major requires supplemental coursework. The website for supplemental coursework or the impaction criteria for your major is sjsu.edu/admissions/impaction. Okay, so if you go there, you can see if your major gives preference for students who complete the impaction criteria, specifically those supplemental courses. And yeah.
Great. We got one more question here on the ADT. It says, I don't see a delete button for the ADT section. I'm doing an AA instead. How do I get rid of an ADT and notify SJSU that I'm receiving an AA?
Good. So when you'll have to go to the change option. Sorry, test mic check.
We can
So
hear.
okay, got it. Thank you. Sorry, my microphone sometimes will work better than other times. So let's see. So the question about removing an ADT, you have to go to the change option, and then after reading carefully, you're gonna notice there's a checkbox. Uncheck the box if you're not completing the ADT program, but you're only going to be able to see that after you hit change. So if you don't see the delete button, that's because the button version is unchecking the box if you're not completing an ADT.
And just to add on to that, that section is exclusive to ADT degrees. It is not including the AA or the AS. It is just for that ADT. All right, so our team is doing our best to be able to answer those remaining questions in the Q&A, but if you do have any other questions, please visit Julio, myself, any of our team members in our virtual front desk at sjsu.edu/soar. We will be there momentarily. If you do have additional questions, we have our Admissions Live virtual chat as well that can be able to address that. Our tech support team, the link there is if you do need to be able to change your supplemental application and request to make that change, have the application reopened. But again, definitely reach out if you have those questions earlier rather than later. We are very deadline driven. We want to make sure that you have the most opportunity to be able to submit this application in a timely manner, get your questions answered. And then if you do have more questions and it's after hours, for example, you can always email us or still visit our website because we will have a recording posted of this presentation. The links for both help guides are also on the website as well.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Students appreciate it. So, want to let you know that stay connected. We're as a team doing our best to respond to students' needs, and it's important that you complete this application on time by the deadlines. Complete it accurately, shown on your transcripts. And thank you for joining us today.